Record. All right. So, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to class. If you don't already have it, grab your blanket and a couple blocks and a strap, and set your strap on and one block to the side. And we're going to sit down, or we're going to lay down. We're going to sit down. We're going to lay down. Sorry, Betty. So come on down. Leave your feet on the floor and just start to settle into your mat, right? If you've been doing yoga for any length of time, once you get yourself settled on your mat, your whole body responds to that idea. So I just kind of snuggle in through the sacrum and I feel where my back is in space. Maybe draw the shoulders down toward the floor a little bit. Feel your feet, maybe feel the four corners of your feet. And start to tap into your breath. Maybe the hands rest on the lower belly. And if you've been doing yoga with me or taking the classes from the last 3 or 4 or so, we've been playing a bit in the hips and pelvis. So try to level out your pelvis, have a little bit of space behind your lower back. For me, I have a bit more of an arch here, so I can put almost my whole hand behind my back. So maybe you check that out for you. Where is your natural curve when the pelvis is neutral, right? When the two hip bones are level, where the belly button and the pubic bone are level. Just kind of get a sense of that. And then pause and find your breath. And as you inhale for the count of 4. And as you exhale, count of 7. And at that very end of that 6 or 7, draw the low belly in and up. Maybe feel the pelvic floor muscles engage. And then inhaling back to that count of 4. And if you know Ujjayi breath, if you know how to do that, you can add that into your exhale to really focus on drawing the muscles in and up, drawing the pelvic floor muscles in on the exhale, on that end of the exhale. And notice as you lay here, do you tend to go back to your habit pattern of flattening through the lower back? And if you did, just try to bring a little bit of space behind there again. Counting into the count of 4, exhaling, count of 7. Good, 3 more rounds here. And then let go of that breath. Let the arms go overhead, the legs straighten out, and let's give ourselves a big stretch here. Bringing the breath in nice and deep, exhaling nice and deep, maybe feeling a stretch along the belly as we stretch one arm, one leg, and then the other. And release that. Bend the knees, everybody. And take your right knee to your chest, just your right knee, and you can hold underneath or on top of the knee, whatever feels okay to you. Notice that when you bring that knee way into chest, the back flattens, and holding on to the knee, press the knee away and you feel that the back body arches a little bit. So draw the right knee in and straighten it, press it away from you. And one more, bring it in and press it away. Hold that press away either behind the thigh or on top of the knee and straighten the left leg. And just pause here for a moment, check out the pelvis again, right? Maybe rock the right hip down a little and the left hip up a little bit if that feels like it levels things out a little bit. Press the leg into the hand. I have my hands interlaced behind the thigh because I've just got a better grip, kind of grip there. Draw the shoulders down a little bit, lift the left leg a little bit. Notice any changes to the pelvis. Hold on right here. Inhale first. Exhale, lift the left leg all the way up. Now, straighten that knee, that left knee. I swear, straighten that knee. I've been learning a lot about this particular thing that we do where we bend the knee and we lose that power in the quads. We lose that power in the thighs. So straighten the leg. It doesn't matter how high it's going. Tone in through the lower belly. Inhale first. Exhale, straight leg, straight leg, straight leg. Hold, hover just a couple of inches. We're only doing 2 on this side. Keep pressing the right knee away from you. Here we go. Inhale first. Exhale, slowly raise that leg. Pause, straighten the knee. Try to open up the back of the knee and the front of the knee, everybody. Find your breath. Now let go of the right leg. Hold here, bent knee. Some of you are going to stay here. Some of you are going to straighten the right leg so that both legs are level. Both knees are opening up. The belly is toned in, right? If you're feeling your back, bend that knee. Don't keep it straight, but open up the back of the knees, everybody. Really press. Breathe. Bend both knees 90 degrees. So keep that belly toned and then lower the feet to the floor. Woo, yeah, right? It's core day, everybody. It's core day. I like that. They should make a national holiday for the core. All right, right foot stays on the floor, left leg. Just draw it into chest. Hands are either on top or under thigh and push the leg away. And then draw the knee in and away. Good. One more. Draw it in and press it away. Hold here. Draw the shoulders down. Check out the hips, right? All that stuff we just did on the other side. And straighten the right leg. Whew. Check out the pelvis. Did you overarch here? Did you flatten? What happened? Feel the low belly. Feel that low belly. Lift the right foot a couple inches off the floor. Try to drop the shoulders so they're just not hiking all the way up to the front of your chest. Just try to press them down. Press the left leg away from you. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly raise the right leg. Straighten the knee best you can. Press the heel of your right foot toward the ceiling. Press the left leg away. Feel the belly working. And then on the next exhale, slowly lower, slow. Keep the leg as straight as you can. Let the leg hover. Notice if you start to overarch here, don't let that happen. Next exhale. Lift the leg, lift. Breathe, keep the space behind the low back, keep the pelvis neutral, straighten that leg, everybody. Straighten the left leg, release the hands or keep the left leg bent. Feel that, right? The hip flexors are working like crazy. Maybe the belly is working. Now work to straighten those knees best you can. Work to straighten them. Find your breath. Good. Bend the knees, but keep the core. What does that mean? You're not bringing those knees up toward chest. You're not overarching. We're working with the belly here, and then slowly let those feet come back to the floor. Good. Straighten both legs. Reach both arms overhead. And bend both knees. Grab a hold of your strap. If you have a little loop in your strap, go ahead and use that. Put that loop around your right foot. Grab your block. Take the block to the outside of your right hip. We played with this a little bit a few classes ago, and we're going to come back into this part of it. So the block is sitting right outside your right hip. Your right leg is up toward the ceiling, or your right foot. Find level in the pelvis and straighten the left leg. Now, when you straighten the left leg, if the right knee bends, lower the right leg a little bit until you can get a nice straight leg, okay? Find that. Breathe. Externally rotate the right foot, the right leg, take the right leg out to the side and let the hip rest on the block. So if the block is low and your hips isn't touching anywhere near that, go ahead and raise the block a little bit and then lengthen through the left leg and just try to settle. If your left hip has raised off the ground, then take the right leg up higher, take the block up higher. Okay, so I want you to feel a sort of passive stretch of the inner right thigh while dialing the left hip down. Okay, so that we feel this really sweet opening, nothing big deal. The right knee is straight, the left knee is straight. Finding your breath here. And then inhale, deep breath. Exhale, engage your belly, take the right leg up, grab the strap with the other hand and take that leg partly across. You're gonna feel it right away, right? There's not a lot of explanation that's needed here. So notice, really feel that. See if you can straighten the right knee, right? So you'll start to notice this tendency to bend that knee, right? To give up the muscles in the quadriceps or the strength of these legs by constantly bending that knee and letting that go. Inhale the leg up, bend the knee enough to take the strap out, hold that leg up. Really work this, everybody. Lift the left leg to join it. Ooh. Lower the right leg about halfway down. I know, right? We're getting this stuff out of the way early. Breathe. Lower the right leg the rest of the way. Lower the left leg all the way down and shake it out, everybody. I'm just going to turn around so I have room for it on the other side. And just breathe, right? Feel what's happening. If you straighten the legs, what does that feel like? Right? There's hopefully some freedom starting to happen in this whole area. So bend the knees, grab your strap, take the strap around your left foot, take the left foot up to the ceiling. Whoop. Get my strap out of the way, take the block outside the left hip. Pause here, feel the stretch, try to level out the pelvis, right? Even for me, because I can bring my leg all up a lot higher from a hamstring flexibility standpoint, I flatten my lower back. So I'm really working on keeping that curve in my spine. When you're ready, if you're ready, straighten the right leg. See if you can keep the left leg nice and straight here. It's a tricky thing if you're used to bending that knee a lot, but we want to open up those tendons, those ligaments, the muscles. Strap is in your left hand. Externally rotate the left leg. Take the left leg out to the side. Keep the right hip grounded and just pause. So, right, if you do the left side and the right side, you might notice One side is tighter than the other. Try not to hike up either hip, right? Try to keep the hips level. Try to keep the right side on the floor and just let this stretch. This is a more passive stretch because we're resting on the block, right? We're not having to hold on or work this a whole lot. You could let go of the strap, some of you, and not even hold the strap, right? Because the block is supporting the leg. So find your breath here, just let it happen. Big, nice inhale, deep exhale. Good, breathe again, take it in. On the exhale, engage the lower belly, take the leg up, grab the strap with the right hand, take the leg partially across. Breathe. Ooh, feel the stretch on that outer hip, right? Working with these external hip rotators, getting that stretch through piriformis and a lot of there's a bunch of muscles right through here. Not to mention this outer band from hip to knee that gets tight on almost everybody. Good, breathe. Everything else is settled, is soft, right? Upper body's relaxed. Inhale it back up to center. Engaged. Tone your belly. You can let go of that strap if you want. Take the right leg up to meet it. Ooh, yeah. Good. Both legs up. The low back still has space, right? So playing with this idea, and then lower the left leg about halfway down. If this is way too hard, I should have said that on the other side. Take the leg up more or down more so you're not struggling. Now, fire up both heels, press both heels of both legs away, 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 so the legs go as straight as they can go. Lower the left leg. Oh, yeah. Lower the right leg, everybody. Woo-hoo. Shake out those legs. Bend both knees, draw both knees to chest, let your back round. And shake it out. Grab your block. We're almost done here, and then we're going to get up. So take that block between your feet and or ankles. Just do your best to figure out where you can hang on to it. Take the feet up to the ceiling. Take the hands underneath the sacrum, just enough to support your back. And then see if you can find the space where you have space behind your lower back. So you're not flat, but you're also not overarched. So when I'm here, the legs are a little further away. I'm having to work with the low belly quite a bit more. Breathe, keep the shoulders down, keep the jaw relaxed. Squeeze your block. Good. Some of you are going to go a little bit lower. Again, watch the arch in the back. Not too much, not too little, right? If you don't need the hands, you can take those hands out, but they're a nice little training wheel, a nice little ledge there so that you don't overdo it. Squeeze your block. See if you can go down any amount more. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Listen up. Bend the knees. So go to a 90 degree, but don't move the knees close to chest. What are we working, everybody? Woo, woo. Belly, 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 right? Abdominal muscles, core muscles. Create that arch in the back if you went flat. Find that nice little neutral pelvis. Squeeze your block and draw that block in toward your chest. Grab it. Set your feet back on the floor. Straighten both legs. Woo! And just kind of shake out the hips. Shake out the legs. Find your breath. Bend the knees. Take the block between your knees at the narrowest setting. Between your knees, your feet go back on the floor. Walk the feet in so that they match your knees. Squeeze your block. Lengthen your tailbone. Lift your hips a couple inches off the floor. Squeeze your block. Lengthen your tailbone, right? If you could take that tailbone and press it toward the back of your knees, it's kind of that. So basically you're tucking, engage your abdominal, low abdominal muscles, squeeze the hips, glutes, squeeze your block, and exhale, let it go. Bring the knees toward your chest, take that block second level, or second width between your knees, squeeze your block, lengthen your tailbone, lift your hips a couple of inches. We're not doing a bridge pose per se. I'm not trying to go up as high as I can. I'm really focused on taking those glute muscles and drawing them down toward the hamstrings, squeezing the blocks, maybe drawing the heels back isometrically so that the hammies meet the glutes, and then you can feel the work happening. Woo! Breathe, everybody. Squeeze your block. Exhale. Come on down. We're almost done, I promise. Bring the knees toward your chest. Take that block to its widest level. Back between the knees. Adjust the feet accordingly. Try to squeeze that block, right? Lengthen through the tailbone, lift the hips, last one right here. Give that block a decent squeeze, lengthen the tailbone. That's the hardest thing for me. I want to drop those hips, but instead of dropping your butt, try to kind of tuck it under and feel it engage. That's what we're looking for. Squeeze, 5, 4, 3, yep, 2, and 1. Lower, 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 lower. Bring that block back toward you. Release it, set it aside. Keep the right knee to your chest. Stretch the left leg really long. Deep breath. Take the right knee in your left hand and do a gentle twist over to the left. Gentle twist. And breathe. Good. Take the knee up. Bring your left knee in, straight in your right leg to stretch. And then the right hand grabs the left knee, takes that left knee over to the right. And we just do an easy stretch here. And breathe. And release, everybody. Both knees to chest. Both knees roll to one side. And come on up. We're coming right to table pose. No mercy today. So if you have your blanket, you might want your blanket underneath your knees. We're going to be here for just a little bit. You know, and I wonder too, sometimes, right? We're in spring. We're heading towards summer. So that spring, summer energy starts to fire up, right? For most of us anyway, maybe not everybody. So find table pose. Spread through the fingers, hang on to that beach ball between the elbows. Draw the lower belly in as if you could stretch from the pubic bone to the belly button, right? And then lengthen through the sacrum, kind of feel this hopefully relatively level pelvis. Press the right leg back. Your left knee is underneath your left hip. Lift the right leg. Don't lift any higher than neutral. And then see if you can extend through the right knee to get that leg super straight. And breathe. Good. Inhale first. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, lift. You can take it a little higher if you want some work there. Exhale, bring it in. Good. 3 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale. If you lift the leg, lift, and you feel your low back or your hip, you're going too high. Good. Last one. Lift. Exhale. Bring it into chest. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Step it forward. So tricky to get that leg there from there. Take your hands to your knee. Tone in through the low belly. Feel the pelvis start to stabilize here. Squeeze your back glute. Take the left arm up. Soften everything and breathe. So think about the stretch of the left thigh, the left psoas, right? Can you kind of tuck in soft, like an inch or so, and then kind of release, but don't overly release. So tuck in soft and soften. Good, last one, little baby tuck and soften. Keep the left glute active. Take the left arm over toward the right. Don't let the right knee curl in. Thank you. Breathe. Big stretch. Take the arm up. Exhale, hand to the floor. Try to scoot both hips back and get that right leg out of the way. Bring it back. Taking the left leg straight. Squeeze in through the low belly. Lift the leg. Notice what you do out of habit. Is it too high? Is it too low? Is the leg bent? Can you straighten it? Find your breath. Engage the left glute. Inhale first. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring it in. Good. 3 more. Lift. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, squeeze. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it in, and step that leg forward. Once you're there, hands to knee, belly squeezes in. Find your pose. Notice which side, tighter than the other, right? Or longer than the other, or shorter than the other. Breathe. And then the same thing here, just a little tuck, and then a softening back down. Little tuck in, right? So the whole pelvis is rocking up and back. Good. One more tuck and release. Take the right arm up. Hold. Gauge that right glute. Take the right arm over to the left. Stretch it out, everyone. Big deep breath. That's it. And take that arm up, hand to the floor, other hand to the floor. Both hips start to slide back. See if you can get that leg back to table pose. Spread out through the fingers, press the right leg back, tone in through the belly. Take the left leg back, plank pose. Wrap those arms around that big clump of laundry. Breathe, or that bowling ball, or that beach ball, whatever it is for you. Lengthen through the chest, tone the belly, press the heels back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, downward facing dog. Oh yeah, spread the fingers. You can lift one heel of the hand, one other heel of the hand. Spread everything out. Grab a hold of that beach ball. Shake out the hips. And find your breath. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale down to your knees. Woo! Open up the shoulders. Press your right leg back. Tone in and then lift the leg. Find that level space. Left hand out, balancing table. Core day. Woo-hoo. Breathe. I know. Take the left hand, reach it back behind you. Find the pose. Release the left hand back to the floor. Bring the right knee to chest. Step it forward. Take your hands to your knee, this time back all the way up so that your left knee, left hip are lined up. Squeeze in through the belly. Take the left arm up and reach over. Oh yeah. Stretching it out, everybody. Feel that stretch, right? Maybe from the hip crease or from the upper thigh through the belly. Take that arm up, take the other arm up. Breathe, soften the shoulders, tone in through the belly, right there. I felt myself reach those ribs forward. Breathe. Hands to knee. 1, you're right here. 2, flip your toes under, squeeze the heck out of your glutes and lift the knee. That's a tricky move, right? Takes a lot of strength. Take the arms up. Breathe. Hands go back to knee. Slowly. That's why I had to put a blanket there. Slow, slow, slow. Down we go. Release those toes. Take your hands to the floor. Bring both hips back. Get that foot out of the way. And you're back to table pose. If you need a second, right, for a little child's pose stretch, that could feel really good. And come on up. All right. Squeeze in the belly, left leg back. Tone in, level out the hips. Lift the left leg. Notice if anything changed. Extend out through that left knee, everybody. Take the right arm out. Balancing table. I know this is also called bird dog pose. I don't really care for that. I don't know why, but I see it a lot. Good. Right hand reaches back. Engage that left leg, everybody. Really, come on. You can do it. Find that. Hand to the floor. You know what you got to do. Bring the left knee in and step forward. Take your hands to your knee. Back off the pose. Right? So, right knee, right hip, hips level. Right? Put your hands on your hips. Feel it. Right? Notice it. You see how that feels to you. Inhale, right arm up. Maybe you take it over again, stretch, right? So it's a little different stretch than here. This is the first one we did where the hips were forward. This one, we're stretching more through quad, psoas, maybe belly. Breathe. Take both arms up. Breathe. Both hands to knees, your choice. Flip your toes under. What do you got to do, right? I got to tone this baby in. Think about it. Push into both feet to lift up. And then take the arms up. That's it. Fire up the back leg. Use your breath. Hands come back. Slow. All the way down. Hands to floor. Both hips slide back. Left leg slides back. Flip the toes under. Lift the knees. Step back to plank. That's it. Squeeze in. Imagine knitting the belly, the low belly around the belly button. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down dog. Can anybody say, whoo? That's enough of that. Walk the hands back. Take the feet wide. Toes point forward. Bend the knees. Hands come to knees. Take elbows to knees. Just pause. Let the body come halfway up, the head part way up. Deep breath. And then push into your knees and just stand straight up. Nice job, everybody. If you got your blanket, grab your blanket. It's usually about that wide. I want you to roll it into a little part burrito. You don't have to roll the whole thing, especially if you've got a thick blanket. I want you to take it into the creases of your hips. Hold on to it, take the feet a little bit wider. Hinge halfway down, tuck that blanket as deep into those hips as you can, and then take the hands either to the floor or to your blocks. Lengthen your belly over the blanket, if that makes sense, right? So we're not just curling down. We're finding this kind of length over the blanket. Bend the knees, that blanket's gonna get tight in your belly. Anybody not feel that? Hands to knees. Take the head, neck, shoulders up a little bit so you're in a squat. Elbows to knees. Sorry about that. I realized I said hands to knees when I looked at Kristen. Breathe. Take the elbows off the knees, hands to heart. Push into your feet. Stand up, let the blanket drop. Squeeze your butt. Good. Grab your blanket. Take the blanket to the front of your mat, still rolled up. Relatively speaking, your blocks are to the front of that blanket. I want you to place the ball mounds of both feet on your blanket. Be careful here. Now, this should help you straighten the knees, but don't hyperextend the knees, right? So we've just lifted those feet up. Feel yourself get really tall. Feel the belly knit in. Inhale carefully. Exhale, bend the knees. Woo, take your hands to your blocks or the floor if that's easy. The knees are bent for now. Feel the stretch, everybody. Broaden through the sit bones. You really can't help but broaden, widen through the sit bones, right? Press the ball mounds into the blanket. Breathe. Now, little by little, start to straighten the legs. Hands to blocks make a lot of sense for a lot of people. So maybe the hands are on the blocks. The legs start to straighten. Talk about a hamstring stretch. Breathe. Try to take the heels of both feet isometrically and press them away from each other. You got it, everybody. Now, come part way up. If your blocks were low, take them up to medium. Your right foot's going to stay on the blanket. Your left foot is going to step back. Readjust the right foot. If you need to, turn your back foot to the kind of a quarter turn so that the toes are more forward than they are sideways. Warrior one position. Take your hands to your knee. Press into the blanket and lift up. Front knee is bent, right? Find that. Your right hip goes back. Your left hip comes forward. The left glute, the left foot. I'm actually feeling a little short on my pose, so I'm going to lengthen mine out a little bit if I can still do that and come to a level pelvis. Push into the back leg and lift the back foot's arch. Inner arch. Inhale, take the arms up, press into the blanket. Ooh, right? It throws the balance a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Breathe. Press the back leg. Straighten the back knee. Hands to heart. Straighten the front foot. I use my thumbs to lengthen my chest forward to my blocks. If those blocks are too far forward, just sit them right on top of your blanket or in front of your or behind your blanket and breathe. Ooh. What are you doing with your hips, my darlings, right? Did the right hip roll forward? Did you do some weird little thing there? Just notice. Soften the shoulders. See if you can get the front leg to straighten a little more. I know. Breathe. All right, bend your front knee. This is where it gets tricky. I do want you to be careful. Walk your hands forward, step back on your blanket. Let those little sit bones lift, right? Stretch out the legs. Bend both knees and come up to standing. If the blanket is throwing you off a whole bunch, come off blanket. And then just stand, little mountain pose-ish. And breathe. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, bent knees. Take it down. Woo, hands can come to blocks. This time the left leg stays on, the right leg steps back. Turn the back heel in. And then for me, before I even think about lifting my hands, I'm going to roll the left hip back so that the front hip, front knee, front foot are all facing the same direction. Push into your back foot, take your hands to your knee, lift up your chest, fire up the legs, take the arms up, and breathe. Not so bad, right? It's kind of an interesting thing, this warrior work on a blanket. It makes you work this front leg more, right? You can see how mine would wiggle side to side, and I've got to really find the center of the front foot, the length and engagement of the back foot, the lift of the back arch, the pelvis draws in, all that stuff happening. And then hands to heart, whoop. Start to straighten the front leg, keep the chest lifted, hands come to the blanket or to your blocks. The hips readjust, the torso gets long, but the outer edge of the back foot stays planted. Big deep breath. Feel the work, everybody. You got this. And then bend the front knee. Walk your blocks forward. Step on your blanket. Breathe. Step off your blanket. Step behind it. Bend both knees, hands to knees. Come on up. Oh, shake it out. Woo, feel those hammies. All right, so we're going to leave the blanket where it is, but we're going to turn ourselves around because I want to use the blanket on our heels for down dog. So come roughly to the middle of your mat, and you can move your blanket if you so choose. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, down, hands down to the floor. You should be able to see your blanket. Step back so that the heels of your feet are on your blanket. Your toes and toe mounds, ball mounds, are on the floor. You're in downward facing dog. Press into your blanket. Engage your belly. Reach through the arms, everybody. You got this. And then try to lift your toes and ball mounds off the floor. Big flex of the foot. If the blanket feels slippery, just be mindful here. You got it. And then press the toes back into the floor. Optionally, peel your left foot and lift it up toward the ceiling. Keep the hips level, level-ish. Right foot presses into the blanket. Lower the left leg. Hang on. Press the heel of the left foot in. Raise the right leg. Don't forget to breathe. You got it. I just realized my hips were all askew. Let's fix that. Lower the right leg. Walk yourself to plank. See if you can feel the blanket. Breathe. Press your heels toward the blanket. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees, everybody. A well-deserved child's pose or hero pose. Holy moly. See, You know, when it gets a little tough, all you gotta do is laugh, like, okay, we're still here. Good. If you're feeling your hands, your palms, your wrists, give them a good shake or rub them together, right? That's a lot of time on the hands. Take a really deep breath, everybody. Just notice. All right. So from wherever you are, let's come back to standing. So maybe table pose, you know, to down dog, all that fun stuff. Feet go wide, hands walk back, the knees bend and press out, and we come up to standing. Grab your blanket. So you can undo the little roll, and then you're going to fold it, and then you're going to fold it. It's going to be a little square, and you're going to hug it because that just feels really good right now. It's like, mommy, make her stop. All right, so grab your blanket and put it between your legs and knees, your thighs and your knees. Squeeze in, right? It's a whole little different sensation than the block. One, it's softer, which is nice. Two, you got to hold on a little tighter because it's a blanket and not a block. So press into the big toe mounds. Try to draw the knees in. Try to broaden through the sit bones, all that stuff we know. Squeeze your block, inhale up. Exhale, come on down, little squat. Check the feet, check the knees. Open up the chest, lengthen through the tailbone. And breathe. Take your left hand back. Take your right arm up. Breathe. Both shoulders are open, okay? And breathe. Sit back in the heels, squeeze your blanket. Switch arms. And switch. Woo! Anybody feeling those legs? And switch. No? Nobody? Okay, we'll keep going. Here we go. Switch. And switch. We got two more. And switch. And switch. Woo! Both arms up. Press up. Release those hands and roll it out. Take your blanket out. Grab both blocks. We're almost done with this. One block narrow. If you've been doing my class the last few, we've been playing with this as well. One block between the thighs. It's such a weird thing for me. Try to get your big toe mounds to touch and squeeze into the block. I have a hard time with that while squeezing the legs. Breathe. Feel the inner ankles draw in. Ooh, feel the legs, right? So legs are straight, not hyperextended, but straight. Roll the shoulders. Take the arms up. Hold. This is just mountain pose, everybody. Notice if you're pushing the hips forward. Bring that pelvic neutrality back. Squeeze your blocks. Release the arms. Relax. Take both blocks wider. Harder still. Try to find your block. You know, growing up, like I grew up with two brothers and two sisters, and my younger brother in particular was the guy with the sounds. He was always making some weird sounds. And now I feel like that's what I do. Like, what happened? Squeeze, tone, arms up. I know. This is quite a lot of sensation for a lot of people. So just do what you can do. If it's too much, it's too much. Take the blocks out. Breathe and release. Woo, take the blocks out. Good. Set one block aside. Open up the shoulders. We're going to do several things balance-wise. So maybe you're near a wall space or something that you can just put a finger on, a chair, something like that. So the first thing I want you to do is just take one block to the outside hip. It's not on the hip bone, right? It's in the soft fleshy part right at the side. And I want you to push that in and then come to mountain pose. And feel what that does, right? If you push too far, you're going to sway to one side. I want you to resist with that side, even as you're pushing in. And then bend the other leg. So whichever side that block is on, lift the other leg, take the knee up. Push the hand into the block, into the hip. Other hand goes to your hip, straighten the leg. Any amount, doesn't have to be high. Breathe, woo, push into the hip, maybe that arm goes up. And breathe. Release, set it down, shake it out. Other side, other side. If my husband, who's taken the class, was unmuted, he could sing us a jingle. He knows almost everyone from years ago. Press into the block, open up the shoulder, feel that, right? And again, if you push too hard, you're going to sway out to the side. So we resist with the other side. Hand to hip, find your stability, lift the other leg, push into the block, see if you can straighten that leg any amount, and lift that same side arm. Woo! Breathe. I know that's a lot. And release. Shake it out. Go back to the other side. Push in. Turn the opposite foot out. Tree pose, same thing. Here's that sway of the hip, right? We don't want to sway one side. We don't want to sway the other side. We want neutral pelvis, both hip points pointing forward. Come into your tree. So you're pressing in with one side. I want you to take the other hand to the inside knee and press knee to hand, hand to knee on that side. Find your focus. Keep pushing in on that block. Maybe take the arm up, one arm up. Breathe, get tall. Smile and release. I'm not good at smiling when I'm balancing. I'm focused, like razor focus. Don't look away. All right, other side. Push in. Find that, right? So if I push my hip back out to the block while I'm really pushing it in, I can feel that resistance. The glute engages. The toes turn out to the side. Don't bring the hip with it. Keep everything centered and then get tall. From here, you decide where you're going to bring that foot for you for tree pose, and then take that right or that same side hand, whoo, palm face out to the knee. And breathe. Chest tall. Breathe. Maybe the arm goes up. That's it. Maybe you smile. And release. Shake it out. Oh, open it up, soften it up. Take one block to the floor. Again, near a wall would be appropriate. You're going to step on the block with one foot and keep your other big toes on the floor. Hands to hips, level out, tone in, feel all that. Press that foot into your block. If you can, just lift the other foot as if you're stepping on two blocks. One or both arms up. Mountain pose again, but with a balance. Come on, you got this. One hand to a wall, perfectly awesome. and then step down and release. Other side. We're stepping on the block. So what is this teaching us, right? It's teaching us how to kind of bring it all into center, work with the muscles, find balance, find that level pelvis so that we can balance. So we stand tall, we got a big toe on that floor, gonna level everything out, squeeze in through the standing leg, find that, lift the other foot, flex it so it's like you're standing on 2 blocks. Arms up, optional. Keep squeezing in the standing leg, everybody. That's it. And step down. I got work to do. This left side is definitely not as stable as the right. I know that. I ignore that often. No more. No more, no more. All right, come back to the front of your mat. You're going to need your blanket. You can do it now or you can do it later. You're going to open that baby back up. You're going to set it midway on your blanket, and then you're going to fold it in half so that the blanket is the width of your mat. And then step in front of it. Breathe. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, down you go. Find that. Soften the knees, step over the blanket with your right foot. Step over it with your left foot any way you can. Come to down dog. Pedal everything out. Come to plank. Try to line up the blanket with your knees, so you might have to walk up a little. Plank pose. Squeeze the blanket or squeeze the elbows. We're going to tap knees for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Land on the blanket. Just sit back for a moment. That's a weirdly hard thing to do, that knee tapping, because the core has to work pretty hard to make that happen. Just breathe. And then you're going to come down onto the blanket, hips, hip points, pubic bone on the blanket. So come on down. And truly just let yourself chill for a second. I don't know, it feels like it's been a pretty good physical class as far as work, right? But hopefully also awareness. Good, breathe. And then just pelvic tilt or tuck. So you're trying to wrap your pubic bone down around the blanket. It really feels good to stretch the low back this way. And then just let it go. Don't arch, but just let that go. And then again, really lengthen down and tuck. And let it go. Good. Last one here. Tuck, hold, lift the right leg. Don't overlift. I want the pubic bone. I want everything staying on the blanket. So you're just lifting, straighten the leg. More if you can. Straight leg point. There you go, Judy. Better. Point the toes. Breathe. Try to land the left hip. And lower down. Raise the left leg. Don't go too high. When I was, this is part of my teacher training. When I was doing this, I was lifting too high, which I can, but I was starting to really aggravate the SI joint by going too high. Breathe, both hip points on the floor, legs straight, and lower down. If you can, both legs lift. Head is neutral. Breathe. Take the legs wider. Legs straight. Breathe. Take them in. Squeeze. One more. Take them out. Don't let the hips rock. Don't let the pelvis arch. And in. Whoo, and lower. Shake that out. Did you feel that? I don't know why I like this stuff so much, but I do. All right, I want you to dig your right knee into the mat. You might have to lift your right foot a little bit and then and pretend you're going to bring your right knee to your hip. So I'm pressing into the mat and I'm trying to squeeze it up, which makes my right hip lift. There you go. That's it. Breathe. Just try to squeeze it in and then let it go all the way. Left side, dig the knee in and then pull the knee up. It's isometric. The left side hip's going to lift and lower, release. One more, both sides. Push, pull. Pull it up, pull it in. Breathe. Release. Left side. Knee digs in. It drags up the mat. It doesn't really move. It's an isometric movement. Pull it up and release it. Shake it out. Press down on the blanket again. Tuck, pull the belly button in. Come to Sphinx pose. This should feel pretty good on the blanket. If it doesn't, you might have to scoot down the blanket a little bit. So you should be able to feel the belly press up and in. Good. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 7. Squeeze the belly in. One more. Inhale for 4. Exhale, squeeze in. Release it down. Bend the knees, windshield wiper. Lower the legs, widen them just a little bit. Take the pinky toes down to the floor. Engage, lift your knees off the floor. And breathe. Press down on the blanket. Lengthen your tailbone. 1, you're going to lower the knees and come to Sphinx. Everybody lower the knees regardless, or you're going to take the hands to the level of the shoulders, draw the shoulders back and lift into your version of Cobra. Now, if you're in Cobra and your lower back is going, excuse me, you're too high. It's simple. Just lower down. Use those triceps, everybody, and feel that. Whew. Big deep breath. Squeeze in through the belly. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 7. Inhale for 4. Exhale, deep belly. Exhale. And lower down. Good job, everybody. Woo. I know. All right, roll over to one side and then roll onto your backs. The blanket is actually going to go below your hips, so it can sit right behind you. We're not done just yet, but you can set it there for later. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Hands are to your hip points. Shoulders are down. Just feel that. Lengthen through the tailbone. Lengthen as if you could scoot the glutes up toward the hamstrings. Lift your hips. Maybe you come higher than you were before for a full bridge pose. The hands can rest on your blankets. Breathe. The knees are parallel. Keep working the glutes toward the hamstrings, squeezing them in gently, feet on the floor, and breathe. And then slowly lower. Bring your right knee to your chest, straighten the left leg down along the blanket. Take your hands behind your right thigh. Take the right leg up toward the ceiling. Point your toes, really point. Shoulders down. And breathe. Two choices here. Everybody bend the knee. Roll the right knee across to the left. So here we are again. If the blanket is funky, just take it out. And then some of you are going to straighten the right leg and bring it to the floor. Take the right arm overhead. Like I said, the blanket where it is, that wasn't planned. If it feels too funky, just move it. Bend the right knee, take it all the way back up. Whew, and release both legs. Good. When you're ready, we're going to go to the other side. I'm just going to flip over. I got a wall in my way. So bring the left knee to chest. Straighten it up to the ceiling. Point your toes. So we don't point a lot. We don't extend through the front ankle very much. I think it's a really important thing to do. And then release that, bend the knee, take the left knee across into a twist of some sort and straighten that top leg if you want. Left arm overhead, left leg straight. Some of you can touch your toe. Breathe. Bend that knee, take everything back to center. Lift the hips, set the blanket under your hips. Take both knees toward chest, both legs up. Shoulders down, upper body relaxed, similar to being on a block, okay? Let the legs hover in place. I like a little space behind the lower back. You decide for you. And then some of you are going to stay here. Some are going to move to a Baddha Konasana, where the soles of the feet come together, the knees fall out to the sides. You can hold the feet or the ankles. And just breathe, everybody. Wherever you are, either Baddha Konasana or legs up, bend the knees, bring the knees back down. Set your feet on the floor. Scoot off your blanket again. Let it come below the glutes. Bring both knees up, hands to the outer knees. I want you to push the knees into the hands and resist. So just a little reset here. And release both hands inside your thighs. Push your legs in, or inside your knees. Push legs in, resist. And release that. Push both, the hands are on top of both knees. Push the hands into the knees and knees into the hands. Resist. Release. And then last one, the hands in front of the knees. Try to push the knees away. And resist. Good. Release that right knee to chest, left leg straight. Switch sides. And then straighten both legs. And find Shavasana. So with your legs over blanket, it should feel really nice. Sacrum on the floor, the legs relaxed. Shift the blanket any way you need to make that feel better. Shoulders to the floor. Head, neck, chest, nice and neutral. And then let that go. Feel your breath. Maybe you do a round or two of 4 count in and 7 count breath out. Soften your bodies. Find your breath. Soften down even more. For those of you ready, take a nice deep breath. Start to wake yourself up. Start to wiggle your toes. Draw your knees toward your chest. And then rock side to side, just stretch it all out, curl over to one side, pause there in fetal pose. And just feel your whole kind of essence, right? Often after yoga class, we're tired or sleepy or peaceful. Just feel that. And then as you're ready, press up.
Bring your hands to your heart. Bow to your own inner goodness, your compassion, your love. Namaste.
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 Everybody.